Good morning, everyone. So, we are going to be doing a segment calling YAH's Family Values. So, we are going to still have to deal with the 20 to 25 minute issue. I was messing around with some technology earlier this morning, but I'm now having audio issues. Not with the phone, but a different camera. So, that's not my thing. But anyway, until I can get the money and go and find the right type of equipment, I guess we're just gonna kind of wrestle through it. Before I begin, man, there's just so many people who would like ready to jump on the bandwagon. I mean, I feel like so many people are piranhas, like you guys are ungodly to me, honestly. Like, you should be ashamed of yourself. Trying to talk about the way I say this or the way I act or whatever, like, you guys are vipers, man. Like, you really are. You were vipers then, you're vipers now. Now, you know who I mean when I'm saying the vipers, because you guys are truly vipers. To be quite honest, like, I am ashamed of the Jewish people. I am, like, beyond ticked off with you guys, A, B, and C. Like, that's honestly why I'm like trying to refrain from even opening that door right now. And that's the thing, you literally you hate the fruits. And that's what I mean. Like, you people are so hung up on your man everything, you all little rabbis, you're all little wannabe gods, you're all little wannabe holier than thou. And I honestly, guys, like, it is like a big pain. It's a big thorn in my side, and I mean, that goes across the pond too. You other side Christians, you guys are vipers as well. I'm going to throw some names because, I'm not, I'm going to take my own advice. I'm going to just sidestep all of you. The ones who will take the information I'm giving seriously to heart and do what I'm saying with it, those are the people that are going to see the new earth. Not the rabbi sitting behind the desk telling the public or to his people or whoever will listen, about why I'm this or why I'm that. Personally, I frankly don't care, right? Because at this point, I'm arguing with dust. Like, you guys are ashes. So really enjoy it while you can. Anyway, I'm not going to get sidetracked because I have a lot of folks that, I'm my direct arm, is reaching out for you guys, because no matter what, we're going to continue this process. It looks kind of sloppy and choppy. I get it, right? I'm not a fool to the point of what it looks like. But at the same time, I'm not the kind of person that is going to need perfection before the work gets done. All right, so I'm also going to do a video on the difference between the Lord, lesser ordinance, ruler divine, right? When I'm in human form, I am your Lord, right? I'm basically your face to the heavens, and that's why I look like you. It's why I talk like you. It's why I try to engage in things with you so I can therefore understand you better, right? As your ambassador to the heavens, I'm trying to essentially lean into you guys, right? Lean into the human race, and instead of just poo-pooing everything you do, poo-pooing everything that, humans either enjoy or whatever, I'm trying to lean into that. I'm trying to understand you. I'm trying to be a good representative for you. I'm going to do a whole video on it, but basically, when I go upstairs and I put on the robe, right, it flips. I don't have the Lord in the sense that I don't operate under the same perimeters as I operate right now. So when the robe goes on and judgments are cast and decisions are made on behalf of earth and all these things, I'm still very much me, right? But it is in that very reverent way. It is in the, unthinkable, unaccumulative God, that everyone expects, right? And that's what I mean, right? So I am, down here on your level. Anyway, it's going to be on another video. I'm not going to use up my phone time with this, but so family values. So these are obviously important to not only me, but these are important to my direct family. So remember, layers, right? My personal family, my Asherah, my kids, Cameron and Jacob. So the sons, right? So this is a good way to look at it, right? So Cameron, for example, is the divine seed, right? So he's not only my son, right, but he's Asherah's son. So together between her and I, he is a fully divine son. He has full access to the realms. He's only 8, but he's getting trained by me personally. So he's getting his training on how to harness his power, harnessing his understanding. We're working on memory recall. So when he's in the realms, he'll be able to come back. And then, right off the bat, it's really hard to gain your memory recall. So I'm working with him at a young age to try to really expand that. Because remember, he's going to be an awesome king. So that's another thing, right? When we're in the newer state and we're in the realms, he's going to be a big player in this. Obviously not at 8 years old, but he's going to be essentially a lot of you priest kings, a lot of your points of contact are going to be to Cameron. So just something to keep in mind. And obviously behind Cameron is me. And then when it comes to me, I'm where the buck stops. But my biggest thing is I like to give power. I like to let creation, work itself out with the parameters I've set. That's the whole point of creation, and the whole reason of free will and essentially all these things, all right, trying to stay focused because I know I'm hearing a lot of backlash. Obviously not in comments because they're turned off, but I am hearing them in conversations and groups. I'm hearing them, I know you guys use Telegram to try to side skirt me or all these like really weird primitive human things. Like you think that if somehow you look at me or my video, like you're going to be cursed. Like, no, I assure you it's going to be your actions and your sin, your lack of repentantness, your lack of acceptance, your lack of trying to lean into the holy, and instead by constantly leaning out or trying to explain or mansplain or whatever you guys do, that's what's going to end you up cursed. It's what's going to end you up in hell. Burning down my trees to replace it with solar panels, guess what? I hit back. Enjoy your battery fire. Don't like that, guys. I'm trying to make these things faster than humans can make mock-ups, but unfortunately, it's just like 365 open 24 hours a day for you guys. Like it is an all-out assault on the holy. And again, these things too must come to pass because, to be quite honest, if I don't get mad enough, things don't change. So a lot of things that I'm gravitating that are coming into my orbit are just for my viewing pleasure, so then I can judge it, sort it, and then make my decision. And yet I still got off track. Okay. Sons. So righteousness, holiness, and all this needs to start with you. But then once you've obtained it, and whatever level you may call it obtained, your job is then directly to teach your offspring, primarily your sons. You want to build your house on the back of righteousness, of good ethics, of perfect moral standard, fair dealings, all these things, right? And that goes through the thought, that goes through the action, that goes with being considerate. Here's a good example, very minute, but something I think humans could relate to. So if you go to a drive-through, right, and you and your partner, you get something both, right? Well, there's gonna be like French fries in the bag usually, right, or like little tater tots. So are you the kind of person that tries to get to the food bag first and scoop up all the fries to put them in your fry box? Or are you the kind of person that takes the smallest fry, leaves the stuff in the bag, so if your partner is hungry, they can get to it first? Then if they're not hungry, then you can eat it. See, that is righteous. And that's not just with like food, right? But that's with everything. So it's, hey, I have an opportunity to do this. Let me look at what kind of righteous outcomes are available. That could be investing in property. That could be investing in your own congregation. It could be doing something, with yourself. Like, I know families that don't even know the whole YouTube thing. They don't even know Facebook. They don't know any of that. They're completely offline. But these families, and these are people that none of you on YouTube have even considered yet. Again, what's in the Bible is only 1% of what exists, and what's online is 0.5% of who I'm actually connecting with. So also layers, and consider who you are and where you're at in this program. Okay, so a lot of you are on YouTube, you're seeking information, you're seeking knowledge, you're primarily going to men, hearing man's opinion, and then you get hyped up on this person, then you get hyped up on that person. You know, you want to listen to these long drawn out arguments over names, places, events, and this is what I mean. That's what drives me crazy, right? Because in the realms, what are you going to do when none of that exists? You know, what are you going to do when you don't have to dance around the fire going, oh, la, 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 for rain, right? What would you do when you've surpassed the level of human you're at right now? You know, again, starting off with early humans, it was baby steps, right? We're taking these little steps trying to integrate you into a holy system, into a heavenly family, even though you're defunct because you didn't know it already. And it's a long tail, right? So it's 7,000 years of training you guys. And just like every time, you're gonna have these Brabbies wearing all black, and they, you know, they're, let me tell you why the name is YAHWEH Teaches, and you know, again, you're replacing a Y with a J, you're replacing the H with a V, guys. YAHWEH Teaches is I am who I am. I am what I choose to be, right? It's not my name. I mean, it is my name because I am who I am. But what I'm saying is, when I come in the flesh, my flesh has a name. I'm sidetracked. Anyway, so you're trying to train your sons up, right? Like I'm training up Cameron. You want to train your sons up. You don't want to just kick them to the curb and say, go be a big man out there, you know, go make your mistakes, you know, like, then you need to shut up and not have children. You need to take pride in your sons. You need to craft their righteousness, right? If you catch something big or small, you need to be a father figure, not a butthead. Not a butthead. You don't want to be an overbearing father that then people are traumatized over, you know, and then they need therapy because of your parenting. Like, this is what I mean. Think of bell curve, guys. So some people, again, will take what I say and then they're going to floor it, you know, and then they're going to walk around thinking that they're me, or they're some king ding of the house, and wife do this, son do this, daughter do that. Like, get off yourself, get back on your knees, get back on your face, and try again. Righteousness is, for an example, last night we were settling down. You know, we tend to have our evening TV time with our family, you know, the kids, my wife. We like to watch things, usually in the older days, because they're not so unrighteous. But you know, there's going to be some unrighteousness somewhere. But it also creates a good learning opportunity, right? But that wasn't actually what I was getting to. But so, painting the picture for you, right? We're sitting on the couch. I have two dogs, and we came in, right? It's our TV time. I usually give the dogs a treat after we eat dinner. So they were good. We had dinner, and then the dogs got a treat. So then we go to the living room to settle down. Well, one dog already ate her treat, and the other dog was still working on his. So the other dog goes to sneak in and steal the other dog's treat. Right? Righteousness is having the eye to say, like, you need to go sit over there and you go lay down, let him finish his treat. That's righteousness. That's being a fair and just judge. It's not abusing an animal. It's not smacking something. It's not raising your voice. It's not thinking highly about yourself in a situation. It's a correction as we're on the water and it's smooth and you can see this ripple coming. That's a righteous mind. That's a righteous eye. A wise man is being able to see this dog going, okay, you finished your treat. I know you're going to come steal this one. Go. And then she takes a hint. She goes. All problems are averted. This is the way. And you need to apply that righteousness through all things, right? So, and that's what I mean. You don't want to let your righteousness be given away or given up. And that's where you instill in your son, right? Do not drink alcohol. This is why I make that decree to my son, right? Here are the reasons why I don't want you, you know, doing this or driving the car at this time. Like, I don't just say something and say, well, because I said it. Well, your natural nature, right, is then to not have a full understanding of why. And if he be a righteous son and an unrighteous father, then the unrighteous father is essentially going to be trumping over a righteous son, and then it's going to confuse him. So that's why, as a parent, as a guardian of over children, you want to make sure that you are being righteous according to me. And if you're righteous according to me, then it's like, hey, okay, good job, fill in the blank. You're doing great. Like I can see you're working with your children, you're working with your household, you're becoming a man of honor, to which your wife then will cling to you and will become one in all these things, not because she's forced to. The moment you're having to talk about forced relationships and forced women, then you're in the wrong relationship. So, daughters. So this can be complicated because it also gets a little dicey when you're talking culturally. So I'm not entirely against arranged marriages. I am highly, emphasis on highly, not cool with children marriages. I know they happened in the past. There are a lot of things that happened in the past that happened the way they happened. It doesn't necessarily mean that I approve. That's another thing. You read the Bible and you're like, well, God must have approved of this or God must have approved of that. Not necessarily. But I am understanding of situations, people, places, and things. And sometimes even the most truly unrighteous person to me may be the only vessel I have to work with. So the outcome, may again to the human mind, like, well, God must have approved and he must have loved this or whatever. Not necessarily, right? Just because I used a zip tie to put in the window screen doesn't mean it was ideal, right? It just means that's all I had at the time and there's a hurricane coming and there's nothing more I can do. So you kind of work with what you got is what I'm saying, right? And that's another reason why read the word and know what you're reading and why and what it is and what it's about and what it's for and what time frame and to who and why. Like, that's what I mean, all these things. You can't establish your righteousness through your works. Through reading that book, you're not going to get righteousness. Through having a 7-hour class about the name and still getting it wrong isn't going to bring you any closer to me, right? And that's the whole point. If your goal is eternal life, if your goal is either eternal rest or eternal life, your goal is to ascend into the new earth state. If your goal is to, be in my heavenly family as a builder, right? And as a righteous son or a righteous king, and whatever position that looks like for you in your walk with me. But my point is, it starts with you. Okay, so many people are so quick to jump on this YouTube train and, go and toot toot, I'm going to tell you, and it's like all these people want to flap their gums at things that they don't even know what they're doing, right? They don't even realize the overall picture. It'd be like if I am a car and the best of you, maybe you're really good at knowing a muffler, or you're really good at knowing a door handle, or maybe you're a tire specialist, or maybe you know the injectors of an engine, or maybe you know how a transmission works. But guess what? Due to your physical nature and your lack of spiritual nature, that's all you're able to harness is the ability to understand a muffler or a door or a transmission or an engine. You don't have me yet, so you don't understand the full car. And this is what I mean. Then your rabbi comes out and goes, I'm the best muffler specialist in the world. This muffler is going to take you to the moon. Trust me when I say this muffler. This muffler is what's going to take you to the moon and beyond. And then the other guy's like, no, this valve cover is going to take you to Jupiter. And then I know that sounds so bogus. And you're like, what are you talking about? That's how you sound to me when you're getting on these videos and you're trying to, like, I know you are, shut up the unholy and bring out the holy. I didn't even listen to your video. I don't even want to listen to your video because you know what? I know you. And sadly, you break my heart and so many like you. You guys are cruel. You are venomous vipers, man. You always have been. That's why I let the snakes bite your butts in the desert the first time, because you guys are driving me nuts. I mean, driving me freaking nuts. And that's another thing. Like, these choices are mine to make, right? It's my choice to fill whatever prophecy I want to fulfill that toots my horn, not whatever fulfills your funny hat. Like, really? And that's what I mean. Like, I'm not going to go into it because I really don't want to get into a bad mood today. I mean, we've already got volcanoes going on. Like, I'm already a little on the edgy side today. So I'm really trying to push through this for educational purposes. Okay, so remember, sons, think of them like they should be your pride and joy. You should take very much pride in your son. And that's another reason why you don't want to just have kid after kid, right? Recreational sex, guys, that's kind of nasty, to be quite honest. Like, it's pretty nasty. But when you have a son, when you have a daughter, like, you need to understand the gravity of that. Understand that, hey, you are now charged. You're being charged by raising this son, this daughter. The son has a different path than the daughter, right? This is called sonship, right? Not son like the sun, but a sonship. So the sonship starts with you as a father, right? As a head of household, you want to lead your family into righteousness, and you want to walk confidently into your eternal life. You want to build your relationships with your wife, your children, and all these things, fully expecting that when you pass on, that family is going to be with you again. Like, that's a goal. Like, if you want goals, you want to put goals on the refrigerator. Like, these are goals I want to see. These are goals that are realistic. It may not be realistic for your son or daughter to be an astronaut. Maybe it is, but I can tell you with 100% certainty, confidence, absolution, that if your goal is to say, hey, I want to be a godly man, I want my sons to be godly men, I want my daughters to be upright women, and as the father of the house, I have a big burden of responsibility to see my family and lead them not only through example, but to lead them through the tribulations your family might have. People get sick. The more connected you can be with me, with heaven, with my angels, the more you're walking with me and us, the more I can be proactive in those situations. And that's not to say, because this has happened, and this is the bell curve. I don't want someone who says, my granddaddy was a pastor, my daddy was a pastor, I was born with this terrible disease, or, my brother still got killed in a car accident. Guys, tragedy happens. This is why, for me, time is of the essence, because I know that in a corrupt, fallen state, I can't do every single thing. Like, I simply can't, because I'm by nature, right? If you guys are not born of the seed of heaven, if you guys are not my direct lineage, then I can't do anything unless you call out to me. And that's another thing, right? Everyone is still calling the wrong names. You're still doing all this. And I'm telling you right here, right now, right? If you call the right name, Yeshua, Yahweh, Yahuwah, Yahuwah, Yahushua, like all these things, right? I'm hearing that. That's my name. You're knocking on the Ruach pipe going, need help, I need help, I need help. And so when I can then say, oh, who is that? And then I'm tuning in, I'm like looking into your situation. Okay, yeah, I might be able to do this and that and the other. And I might be able to take those bad numbers and start shifting them in the other direction. Like, I might be able to get down and dirty, really, and that's what I mean. Like, I want people to be walking as close to the Holy Family as possible, because when the kings, the priests, and all these things, when they come forward and when New Earth comes, they're going to be led by me and by my sons, and as the family, right? So as these priest kings are going to be learning from me, from my sons, the ways of heaven, because they're going to be firsthand interacting with us, them, the heavenly realms, and the New Earth state as your municipal governors, basically. So you, as the human race, want to be confident in your governor, and you want to ensure that they're incorruptible. you know, that you're never going to be in situations that happen on a mass scale today. All right, I got to switch videos, so we'll catch you on part 2.